Everybody, welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Well, this week I want to talk about this album right here, Parkway Drive Reverence. This album is fucking killer all the way through. This is from 2018. This was released in 2018. There's the front and back covers. The inside of this is a gatefold. It's got this killer picture on the inside. It says, it's got some words on there. It's got this cool picture of the void. The inner sleeve is this. It's got lyrics on the back. All together, this is a fucking great album. I've got this listed as near mint. I picked this up earlier this year. Like I said, it is from 2018, and I've been listening to this on streaming services for a long time before I saw it in my local record store. When I saw it in my local record store, I had to buy it. And then when I got it, this album cover is freaking cool. All this is embossed. You can feel the letters. And I remember when I first opened it up, after I cut the shrink wrap off, and I opened it up and I saw this, I was blown away by how beautiful this packaging is. It's all embossed on the back. This Parkway Drive logo is all embossed on the back. It's gorgeous. This album is gorgeous. The packaging, it's just awesome all the way through. It's a good heavy gatefold. It's got that cool inner sleeve. The record looks great. It's beautiful. I mean, when I first got it and I opened it, I was blown away by how well packaged and how it just looks. You know, it's just I can't put it into words. I know I'm supposed to be sitting here talking about things for you guys when I get lost in the beauty of this album, and then listening to it. I mean, it is a killer album. In my opinion, for 2018, this was the album of the year. If you don't know Parkway Drive and you have never listened to them, because, they're a metalcore band, or they, were considered a metalcore band. This album does not sound like metalcore to me. Their earlier stuff is a lot heavier than this. I mean, this is still good, hard, heavy music. Songs like Wishing Wells and Pray and Absolute Power. I mean, that's how the first album starts. There's a song called The Color of Leaving, which is the last song on side 2. It is so deep and so emotional. It's just beautiful. And the lyrics of that last song, I mean, it's so emotional for me just to listen to it. I fell in love with this album the first time I heard it. How I discovered Parkway Drive is, I'm on my streaming services and pick a band that you like. I was actually listening to like Lamb of God radio, and Parkway Drive comes on. I'm like, who are these guys? So I started looking up their catalog, and this album had just came out back then in 18. So I got hooked on it right away. I really did. And then when I saw it, like I said, I saw it in the record store. I've had this album I think I may have bought it in like March of 2023. It was in my local record store, and I gave like $30 for it. It's well worth the money. Parkway Drive's a band from Australia. They were considered a metalcore band. Their early stuff is metalcore sounding. This does not. They've mellowed with age, I guess you'd say, but it's still hard and heavy music. And a lot of the stuff on the internet, the earlier fans aren't happy with their new sound, but their new sound is bringing them a lot of newer fans. And you know how that always goes. We did the same shit back in the 80s when we were listening to Metallica, and then when the Black Album came out, or when Justice for All came out, we were like, well, what's Metallica doing, And then when the Black Album came out, we were all like, what was Metallica doing? And it brought in a whole lot of new fans, and those of us who were there from the beginning were kind of feeling a little bit alienated by the new sound and the new fans that were there who didn't appreciate the older music. And I'm assuming the Parkway Drive fans who've been around since day one are kind of feeling the same way. But this album is fucking killer. This album is killer, and their follow-up to this is also fucking killer. And the one in front of it called Ire, I like also. I've not found a copy of it out in the wild, so I do not own it yet. It's beautiful. This whole record, even this gatefold here in the back, and then there's a little cool thing on the inside, you can't really see it. It's kind of hard to see, but there's picture on the inside and there's words written right there, and that goes all the way to the end, but you're not going to be able to see that on there. It's just the thoughtfulness of the packaging and the design is totally fucking awesome. So, and the songs are bangers, man. You want some good heavy music with some nice growls and clean vocals, and it ends like with this nice mellow song that's super emotional. They have, their stories, when they're singing about their message is loud and clear. It really is. And they're just a great heavy metal band. And if you're, I know my demographic's a little bit older sometimes. So if you've never heard these guys, I would highly suggest go ahead and stream Parkway Drive Reverence and then go out and buy it. It is definitely worth it. The pricing's great. The mix is good. And like I said, the packaging is beautiful. And the color of leaving, the song is so emotional. And then some of these other songs, like Pray and Absolute Power and all that, they're total bangers all the way through. Just good heavy bass lines and driving beats and great vocals. They're just a very, very good band. I know they've been around for a while, but I feel like a band like this is what's going to keep heavy metal going in the future. It's bands like Parkway Drive, and that sound of what they've got going on is going to keep metal in the forefront. And bands like Parkway Drive, we need bands like that to replace the bands that are going to be retiring. And let's face it, there are bands that are huge that have been around forever. They're not going to be around forever. They're going to be gone sooner or later, and we need other metal bands to take their place. We need bands like Lamb of God and Parkway Drive to step up and be those arena acts and bring in younger music with them. And I think Parkway Drive is that band in the future. I think they're going to be around for a long, long time, as long as they can keep it together. And they seem to keep it together very good. And, their recording and their production level is done very well. It's very professional, and it just sounds great. And all the songs are just put together very, very well. I would highly recommend this album. This album is 5 out of 5 stars. And in my opinion, for the year 2018, when this album came out, it's the best album of the year that year. It really is. I listened to it, once I discovered it back then, I listened to it over and over and over and over. And I've listened to this vinyl itself that I've had for a while over and over and over. It's my go-to when I want something hard and heavy that's, newer sounding or whatever, instead of going back in time. And, I still enjoy all my 80s music and 90s and stuff like that, but Parkway Drive has taken that metalcore sound and a little bit of the driving beats from some death metal and some new metal kind of mixed together and created this sound that's fucking great. It really is. It's really a great album. They're a great band. I would highly recommend it. Go ahead and buy it. I mean, honestly, I would buy this record on looks alone. I would buy this on looks alone. It is just so gorgeous, and just the way it feels in your hand, and the tactile function of the embossed cover. It's a wonderful album all the way through. I can't say enough. Highly, highly rave this album. And I'd like to talk about the spirit of music, and the spirit of this vinyl for me is being able to find a band like this when I'm in my 50s and enjoy it. And if I were to, see these guys live, I'm sure I'd be one of the older guys in the crowd, but that's okay. And that's what the spirit of this to me is, the idea that heavy metal music is timeless and ageless. And it's okay to be into younger, newer stuff and not get stuck in the genre a lot of people get stuck in. That's the problem I kind of have with old school metal guys, is they go to a certain era and then stop and don't like anything after that. And I've always tried to keep my mind open to newer music that's coming out in the genre that I really, really enjoy. So if you're one of those guys and you haven't picked this up, go ahead and pick it up. If you're one of the guys who's stuck back in the 80s or the early 90s or something, get out of your fucking headspace and pick this album up. You will not be disappointed. All right, well, that's it for me for today. Thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, Parkway Drive Reverence, 5 out of 5 stars. It's a fucking banger. You put this on, you will not be disappointed. If you like metal, you will not be disappointed. Get it. That's all I got to say about that. Thanks once again.